I am Bailey, a 34-year-old software developer from Denver. 3 years with Jessica led to our engagement, and I could not wait for our fall wedding at Mountain View Lodge. That Wednesday afternoon, I took a rare day off to prepare a surprise anniversary dinner at our home. The kitchen smelled of garlic and rosemary as I marinated the steaks for her favorite meal. I never expected Jessica to return early from her dress fitting. As I heard her and Amanda, her maid of honor, enter our living room, I stayed quiet, planning to surprise her. Then Jessica said the words that shattered my world. "I am just settling for Bailey, but he is stable and has a good job." I froze, knife in hand, unable to breathe. Before I tell you what happened next, let me know where you are watching from, and hit subscribe if you have ever had to walk away from someone who did not truly value you. My career as a software developer at Tech Forward had been steady for 8 years. While I earned enough to live comfortably, I never flashed money around or drove luxury cars. My modest 2-bedroom house in a quiet Denver suburb reflected my practical nature. Before Jessica, my love life consisted of relationships that fizzled after a few months. Something always seemed missing, though friends assured me I just had not met the right person yet. My younger sister, Natalie, remained my closest confidant, while my parents provided unwavering support through every disappointment. The promotion to senior developer 6 months before meeting Jessica had finally given me the financial security to buy my first home. The timing seemed perfect when our paths crossed at my college friend Mark's 30th birthday celebration at Skyline, a rooftop bar downtown. Jessica commanded attention when she arrived with mutual friends. Her auburn hair caught the sunset light, and her confident laugh carried across the crowded space. She worked as a marketing director at Pinnacle Brands, a position she mentioned within minutes of our introduction. We discovered shared interests in hiking independent films and trying new restaurants. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and when the party began winding down, I gathered my courage to ask for her number. Our first date at Blue Note Jazz Club solidified my interest. Jessica wore a dark green dress that complemented her hazel eyes, and she seemed genuinely interested in my work stories and family background. Walking her to her door that night, the gentle kiss we shared felt like the beginning of something significant. Driving home, I called Natalie despite the late hour to tell her I might have hit the relationship lottery. The following months unfolded like scenes from a romantic movie. Weekend trips to Breckenridge and Aspen filled our Instagram feeds. Jessica charmed my family at Thanksgiving dinner, while her parents welcomed me warmly at Christmas. Her college friends became weekend companions, though I occasionally noticed they exchanged looks when Jessica mentioned our future together. After 15 months, Jessica moved into my house. Combining our belongings proved challenging at times, as her designer tastes clashed with my practical furnishings. We established new routines, navigating morning bathroom schedules and evening cooking responsibilities. I believed we handled these adjustments like any strong couple building a foundation for our future together. Looking back, I should have paid attention to subtle warning signs. Jessica occasionally compared me to her ex-boyfriend, Tyler. "Tyler always dressed more stylishly for dinner parties," she would comment while adjusting my collar. Or "Tyler knew everyone in the local art scene" when we attended gallery openings. These comparisons stung, but I dismissed them as harmless observations. Her friends treated me with politeness that never warmed to genuine friendship. Conversations often stopped when I joined the group, resuming with topic changes that excluded me. Jessica rarely posted couples photos on her social media, despite being active daily on Instagram and Facebook. When I mentioned this, she claimed wanting to keep our relationship private from work colleagues. After social events with her marketing colleagues, Jessica sometimes became distant for days. Her mood shifts followed no pattern I could identify. She criticized my khakis and button-downs as too safe and encouraged me to adopt trendier styles that never felt authentic. I attributed these behaviors to the natural adjustment period all couples experience, believing communication would improve with time. Despite these minor issues, I felt ready to propose after 2 years together. The sunset hike to Eagle Point Overlook provided the perfect setting. Jessica teared up when I knelt with the 2-carat diamond ring, immediately saying yes and calling her mother from the mountaintop. The celebration dinner with friends that weekend confirmed my belief that we had found something special. Wedding planning consumed the next few months. Jessica selected Mountain View Lodge for our fall ceremony, envisioning golden aspen leaves framing our photographs. Our families enthusiastically supported our plans, though the guest list negotiations revealed different priorities. Jessica wanted industry connections present, while I preferred close friends and family. We compromised on a 200-person ceremony that satisfied neither of us completely, though I believed such compromises reflected mature relationship choices. I invested emotionally and financially in our future, never imagining the truth hiding beneath the surface of our engagement. Every decision from the honeymoon destination to the apartment hunting for after the wedding centered on building our life together. The foundation seemed solid enough to support a lifetime of shared dreams. The day that changed everything arrived exactly 3 months before our scheduled wedding. With our second anniversary approaching, I decided to recreate the meal from our first dinner together at home. Taking a personal day from work, I shopped for premium ingredients at the gourmet market across town. The butcher selected perfect ribeye steaks, while I chose a bottle of Cabernet from the year we met. Fresh flowers and candles would transform our dining room into an intimate restaurant setting. Jessica had scheduled her final dress fitting that afternoon, with Amanda serving as her support system and fashion consultant. With the house to myself, until evening, I prepared a marinade of garlic, rosemary, and olive oil for the steaks. The potatoes needed to roast slowly, so I set the oven temperature and began peeling and chopping vegetables for the side dishes. The front door opening at 3:15 in the afternoon caught me by surprise. My truck remained visible in the driveway, but Jessica and Amanda entered talking animatedly, clearly not expecting my presence. Rather than immediately announcing myself and ruining the dinner surprise, I remained quietly in the kitchen, planning to wait for a natural pause in their conversation before stepping into the living room. "The dress looks amazing on you," Amanda said as they settled onto the sofa. "Bailey will be speechless when he sees you coming down the aisle." The pause before Jessica responded seemed insignificant at the time, but in retrospect it contained volumes. "Do you think I am making a mistake, Amanda? Sometimes I wonder if I should be feeling more at this point." My hand stilled on the cutting board knife suspended above a half-chopped onion. Something in her tone raised warning flags I could not ignore. "What do you mean? Are you having second thoughts?" Amanda asked, concern evident in her voice. Another pause stretched between them before Jessica sighed heavily. "The truth is, I am just settling for Bailey. He has a good job. He is stable. He worships the ground I walk on. But the passion just is not there, not like it was with Tyler." The knife slipped from my fingers, clattering silently against the cutting board. My heart hammered against my ribs as blood rushed in my ears. "Bailey is such a good guy," Jessica continued, unaware of my presence. "He will make a reliable husband and father, but sometimes I feel like I am choosing security over real love." "Do you think passion grows over time?" Amanda sounded uncomfortable when she replied, "I think you should not marry someone if you feel like you are settling. Bailey deserves someone who truly loves him for who he is." "I do care about him," Jessica protested weakly, "and I am 31. My biological clock is ticking, and I want children while I am still young enough to enjoy them. Bailey would be an excellent father." "But do you love him?" Amanda pressed. "I love aspects of our life together," Jessica hedged. "He provides stability and security that Tyler never could with his startup failures and constant career changes. But with Tyler, I felt alive. With Bailey, I feel safe, comfortable." Each word landed like a physical blow. My stomach twisted with nausea as sweat beaded across my forehead. The kitchen suddenly felt airless, but I remained frozen, unable to announce my presence or escape undetected. My mind raced through every memory, reevaluating each moment I had cherished. Had her tears during my proposal been genuine emotion or calculated performance? Had she ever truly loved me? I gripped the counter edge to steady myself, debating whether to confront her immediately or continue listening. The selfish need to hear the unfiltered truth won out, and I remained silent, straining to catch every damning word. "Tyler texted me last week." Jessica continued, unaware her words were destroying the life we had built. "His new company secured second-round funding. He wanted to meet for coffee to catch up." "Please tell me you said no," Amanda responded, alarm evident in her tone. Of course I did, Jessica replied quickly. I would never cheat on Bailey. But it made me think about the excitement I felt with Tyler. That spark just never developed with Bailey, even though I kept hoping it would. My hands shook uncontrollably as memories rearranged themselves in my mind. The hesitation before returning, "I love you" statements. Her reluctance to discuss long-term plans before my promotion. The lackluster physical relationship she apparently found merely satisfactory, but not exciting. Bailey is good husband material. Jessica continued oblivious to my silent agony in the next room. He will provide a beautiful home and financial security. Our children will have stable lives. Maybe that matters more than burning passion that fades anyway. Jessica, you cannot marry someone without love, Amanda urged. It will make both of you miserable eventually. Plenty of marriages have been built on less. Jessica dismissed her concern. My parents had an arranged marriage, and they made it work. Love can grow over time, right? This is not an arranged marriage, Amanda countered. Bailey thinks you are madly in love with him. Do you understand how devastating this would be? If he knew, their conversation shifted toward wedding logistics, with Jessica expressing concerns about table arrangements and photography schedules. The mundane details struck me as absurdly trivial compared to the revelation that my fiancé considered me nothing more than a practical life choice. Let us grab coffee before heading back to the boutique, Jessica suggested. I told them we would return by 4:30 for the final adjustments. When the front door clicked shut behind them, I stumbled to the bathroom and vomited until nothing remained but bitter bile. Returning to the kitchen, I stared at the abandoned dinner preparations that symbolized my misplaced devotion. The expensive wine bottle mocked me from the counter. In a moment of raw emotion, I uncorked it and poured the contents down the drain, watching the deep red liquid disappear. Family photos from our engagement shoot lined the hallway. Jessica's brilliant smile now seemed performative rather than genuine. How had I missed the absence of true feeling behind her expressions? Had I been so desperate for this relationship to succeed that I had willfully ignored every warning sign? Waves of devastation alternated with flashes of white-hot anger. 3 years of my life invested in a relationship built on deception, wedding deposits, paid honeymoon flights, booked family expectations established. The practical implications competed with the emotional trauma for my attention. I grabbed my phone and texted Daniel, my best friend since high school, emergency. Need to talk. Meet at O'Malley's in 30. His immediate response, offering to leave work early, provided the first moment of relief in what would become the most painful day of my life. Daniel waited at our usual corner booth, concern evident in his expression as I approached. The familiar neighborhood bar provided enough background noise for privacy without requiring raised voices. I ordered a double whiskey, neat before attempting to articulate the afternoon's events. She is settling for me. I finally managed after several silent minutes. Jessica does not love me. She never did. Daniel's confusion gave way to shock as I recounted the overheard conversation. His expression hardened when I shared Jessica's comparison to her ex-boyfriend and her comments about my stability versus passion. I always felt something was off with her, Daniel admitted carefully. The way she controlled conversations at group dinners. How she subtly put you down in front of others. I never said anything, because you seemed so happy. His observation hit hard. Had everyone seen what I had missed? Had I been the oblivious fool in a relationship that others recognized as imbalanced? What are you going to do? Daniel asked after ordering a second round. Cancel the wedding, I replied without hesitation. End the relationship. I cannot marry someone who sees me as the safe option rather than the love of her life. We discussed logistics, financial implications, and how to handle family expectations. Daniel offered his spare room indefinitely, but I decided a hotel would provide necessary space for the initial conversation with Jessica. Whatever you need, man, just say the word, Daniel promised as we parted. You deserve someone who chooses you, for you, not for what you provide. That night, in the sterile hotel room, sleep eluded me entirely. I researched wedding cancellation policies and drafted emails to vendors. The non-refundable deposits represented thousands of dollars lost, yet the financial pain paled compared to the emotional devastation. Morning brought clarity rather than doubt. I called my parents briefly explaining that a serious situation had developed with Jessica and asking them to postpone any further wedding preparations. I created a document outlining the key points to address with Jessica, knowing emotional confrontations often devolved into tangential arguments. The facts remained painfully simple. She did not love me, and I deserved someone who did. By afternoon, I felt emotionally armored for the inevitable confrontation and returned home when her work schedule indicated she would be present. Jessica's surprise at my serious demeanor shifted quickly to concern when I remained standing in our living room, rather than greeting her with the usual kiss. I came home early yesterday to prepare our anniversary dinner. I began voice steadier than expected. I overheard your entire conversation with Amanda about settling for me. Her face drained of color as understanding dawned. Bailey, whatever you think you heard, I heard everything, Jessica. About Tyler. About passion versus stability. About your biological clock and wanting children soon. About marrying me, despite not loving me. Her denial crumbled quickly, replaced by damage control. You misunderstood the context. I was just having normal pre-wedding jitters and expressing them poorly. Was it poor expression? When you said our physical relationship is merely satisfactory? Or when you compared me unfavorably to Tyler? Or when you explicitly stated you are settling for me because of my job and stability? Tears welled in her eyes. Whether from genuine emotion or calculated manipulation, I could no longer determine. I do love you, Bailey, just in a different way, a more mature way. You love what I provide, I corrected. Security, stability, the potential for children, and a comfortable lifestyle. That is not loving me. Jessica tried redirecting blame toward Amanda. She pushed that conversation in an unhealthy direction. She has always been jealous of our relationship. My newfound clarity allowed me to recognize this deflection tactic she had employed throughout our relationship. Amanda was the only honest person yesterday. She told you not to marry someone unless you truly love them. As our conversation progressed, Jessica's approach pivoted from denial to negotiation. I can try harder, Bailey. We can go to counseling. Many couples struggle with these feelings. The suggestion that professional intervention could manufacture genuine love struck me as both sad and revealing. I am not interested in being someone's compromise, Jessica. I deserve to be someone's first choice, their passion, and their security wrapped into one. When the reality of my decision became clear, genuine panic replaced her calculated responses. We cannot cancel now. Everyone will know. My family has invited business associates. My mother has told everyone about the mountain venue. The embarrassment of canceling a wedding lasts weeks, I replied calmly. The misery of a loveless marriage lasts decades. Her suggestion of postponing rather than canceling revealed more concern for appearances than for my feelings. I remained firm about complete termination of both wedding plans and our relationship. The ring belongs to you, I stated. I will handle vendor cancellations today. You have 2 weeks to find new living arrangements. Her tactics shifted to anger when negotiation failed. 2 weeks. This is my home too. I have rights. The mortgage carries only my name, I reminded her. 2 weeks is generous given the circumstances. Jessica's final attempt involved tears and reminiscing about good times we had shared. Remember Aspen last winter? How happy we were. We can find that again. The memories she referenced now appeared in new context. That weekend, she had received a promotion, while Tyler's startup had failed to secure funding. Her happiness had perhaps stemmed more from validation of her life choices than from our relationship. I wish you well, Jessica, I concluded, retreating to the guest bedroom, where I would sleep until her departure. But this relationship is over. The practical aftermath consumed the next several days. Emails to the venue caterers, florists, and photographers required explanation without revealing humiliating details. The financial loss exceeded $15,000, yet felt insignificant compared to the emotional cost of proceeding with a fraudulent marriage. Calls to family members proved challenging but necessary. My parents offered immediate support, while my sister Natalie drove from Colorado Springs to help with practical matters. Jessica's parents called repeatedly, her father suggesting I had misinterpreted bride jitters, while her mother implied contractual obligations. Friends divided predictably along loyalty lines. Several mutual acquaintances admitted they had witnessed Jessica's lukewarm affection, but remained silent to avoid interfering. Amanda sent a private message apologizing for her unwitting role in the revelation, though I assured her she had done nothing wrong. Jessica's initial shock evolved into cold practicality as she packed belongings and contacted friends about temporary housing. Her marketing training emerged in carefully worded social media posts about mutual decision to part ways and requests for privacy. The controlled narrative excluded any mention of settling or comparison to former boyfriends. The final day of her residence arrived with minimal interaction between us. A small moving truck transported her furniture and boxes to a storage unit while she prepared for temporary residence with a colleague. The exchange of remaining items occurred with business-like efficiency, emotion, buried beneath practical considerations. When the door closed behind her for the final time, I experienced unexpected relief, alongside the anticipated grief. The silence of the house felt peaceful rather than empty. The first night alone, I slept more soundly than I had in weeks, free from the unconscious tension of living with someone evaluating my worthiness. The initial grief period followed predictable patterns. Mornings brought momentary confusion, before remembering the relationship had ended. Certain songs or restaurants triggered emotional ambushes. Friends checked in daily, their concern eventually becoming suffocating despite good intentions. Moments of doubt surfaced despite rational certainty. Had I overreacted? Could counseling have bridged the gap between settlement and love? Conversations with Natalie reinforced the painful truth: a foundation built on practical considerations, rather than genuine love, would eventually collapse under the weight of resentment. Support arrived from unexpected sources. Jessica's colleague Mark reached out to share that he had experienced similar awakening in his previous relationship. Better to know now than 10 years and 2 kids later, he advised during an impromptu lunch meeting. Most surprising was an encounter with Tyler himself at a downtown coffee shop. His uncomfortable recognition suggested Jessica had shared our situation. For what it is worth, she did the same to me, he offered awkwardly, while waiting for our orders. When my first company struggled, she suddenly had doubts about us. When the second one took off, she reached out again. Some people are always looking for the next better option. His perspective provided unexpected validation. The problem had never been my inadequacy, but rather Jessica's transactional view of relationships. The realization that I mourned the relationship I thought existed, rather than the reality, provided the first real step toward healing. The anger at wasted years gradually transformed into appreciation for the painful truth that freed me from a lifetime of being someone's compromise. Re-engaging with social circles proved initially awkward. The first gathering with friends featured excessive concern and careful conversation topic selection. My request for normal treatment gradually restored natural interactions. The canceled wedding date passed with deliberate distraction, a hiking trip with Daniel and 2 other friends, providing physical exhaustion that prevented emotional rumination. Rebuilding took many forms. I rediscovered rock climbing, a hobby abandoned during my relationship with Jessica, who considered it too dangerous. Weekend mornings now included volunteer work at the local animal shelter, rather than endless wedding planning sessions. My home underwent gradual transformation as I replaced furniture chosen for resale value with pieces that brought personal satisfaction. Professional focus yielded unexpected opportunities. A project I had backburnered during wedding planning attracted executive attention, leading to consideration for the development team lead position. The additional responsibility provided welcome mental engagement during evening hours, previously filled with relationship activities. Bi-weekly counseling sessions helped process the betrayal and establish healthier relationship expectations. The therapist challenged my tendency to accommodate partners at the expense of personal boundaries, a pattern established long before Jessica entered my life. These insights prepared me for eventual re-entry into the dating world with clearer standards and expectations. 6 months after our separation, an industry networking event brought unexpected reconnection with Jessica. Her careful approach across the crowded hotel ballroom telegraphed rehearsed casualness. "You look good, Bailey," she offered with practiced warmth. Can we talk privately for a moment? Professional courtesy rather than lingering attachment prompted my agreement. In the relative quiet of the hallway, Jessica revealed the true purpose of her approach. I made a terrible mistake, she admitted, maintaining careful eye contact. I did not appreciate what we had until it was gone. She explained her brief reconnection with Tyler had proven disastrous. His entrepreneurial spirit translated to unreliability in relationship commitments. The passion she had idealized quickly deteriorated when faced with practical relationship challenges. I understand now that stability and reliability are expressions of love, she concluded. Would you consider having coffee sometime, starting fresh with honest communication months? Earlier, this invitation might have triggered hope or vindication. Instead, I felt mild pity for someone still seeking external validation rather than internal growth. I wish you well, Jessica, I replied sincerely. But that chapter of our lives is completed. The interaction confirmed my recovery more effectively than any therapy session. The woman who once dominated my thoughts and future plans now generated no emotional response beyond the compassion I would feel for any casual acquaintance facing difficulty. New beginning arrived unexpectedly during a community cleanup event at the local park. Audrey, an environmental engineer with practical hiking boots and zero makeup, challenged me to a trash collection competition. Her straightforward humor and lack of pretense provided refreshing contrast to previous relationships. Friendship developed naturally over shared volunteer projects and group hiking excursions. Unlike previous patterns of rushing into romantic attachment, we established solid friendship foundation first. Conversations revealed compatible values regarding career, family, and personal growth. When Audrey shared her own experience with a relationship ended due to fundamental incompatibility, the mutual understanding deepened our connection. Her practical approach to dating after disappointment mirrored my own evolved perspective. Our first official date occurred 4 months after meeting a deliberately planned dinner, followed by an outdoor concert. The evening unfolded without performance or calculation, comfortable silence interspersed with meaningful conversation. Walking her to her door felt significantly different from similar moments with Jessica. No mental scorekeeping or relationship milestone tracking interfered with genuine enjoyment of her company. The first anniversary of my canceled wedding date arrived with surprising lack of emotional baggage. Rather than dwelling on what might have been, I drafted a letter to my future self, documenting lessons learned through the experience. The private exercise provided closure more effectively than any public declaration or confrontation could have achieved. I learned that real love cannot be manufactured through practical compatibility alone. Genuine connection requires mutual appreciation, not one person worshiping while another settles. Intuition deserves respect rather than rationalization when relationships feel imbalanced. Most importantly, self-respect must establish the foundation for any healthy partnership. Life rarely follows anticipated paths. The painful revelation that ended my engagement ultimately provided freedom to discover authentic connection. While the journey contained unnecessary pain, the destination offered greater reward than the comfortable compromise I nearly accepted. Have you ever discovered a painful truth that ultimately saved you from a bigger mistake? Share your experience in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more real-life experiences. Do not forget to share with someone who might need to hear that settling for less than they deserve is never the answer. Thank you for listening, and remember, sometimes the most painful endings lead to the most authentic beginnings.